In an industry stuffed with marketing bullshit, empty promises, and shiny-suited liars, one woman's had enough. She knows what it's like to have the wrong clients, no money, and no time for fun. But she also knows how to fix it. And on the Business for Superheroes show, she promises to tell the down and dirty truth about business, sales, and running away with the circus. Here's your host, Vicky Fraser.
Hello and welcome to the Business for Superheroes show. I'm Vicky Fraser and this is Joe.
Hello.
Hello. And tonight we are drinking gin and tonic. What am I drinking, Joe?
You are drinking gin.
Is it Masham gin?
Masham gin, that's the one. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Fever Tree tonic.
Clementine tonic?
No, because I screwed up.
Oh.
See, the plan was to use up a half bottle of Fever Tree Clementine tonic and half bottle of Fever Tree Straightforward tonic. My theory being that the fancy tonic should go with the straight gin and the fancy gin should go with the straight tonic. Maybe the other way around. And I screwed it up. And so you've got Masham straight gin with straight tonic, and I've got tea gin.
Earl Grey gin.
Earl Grey gin with a Clementine tonic.
Is it nice?
Oh yeah, try it.
Oh. Well, mine's nice, so thank you. It's a bit flat, actually.
Oh.
It's good for radio, this.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's really nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Clementine tea?
Tea, yeah. It's like, Kenda, if you're listening to this, Kenda is a massive tea
Hi,
fan.
Kenda.
Hi, Kenda. Yeah, Earl Grey tea and Clementine tonic. It's very nice indeed. I'm going to co-opt that.
Oh, we swapped.
Yeah. So yeah, welcome to the podcast. Happy gin. I can't even
Insert preamble here.
Insert preamble here, yeah. Oh, I do just want to tell a little story from this morning, though.
Okay.
So after last week, and you may notice I'm less lispy. That's actually because we've just had dinner, and so I'm not wearing my Invisalign braces at the moment. I need to go and put them back in a minute.
Have you talked about these Invisalign braces on the podcast?
Yeah, last week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, was I there?
Yes.
Blimey.
So, yeah, anyway, this morning's daily email, if you're on my email list, you will obviously have read every word of it. And you will also have noticed that I sent you a picture of my teeth because
Not so much a picture of your teeth, but a model of your
3D rendering
the inside of your face.
of my teeth. Of before, or as they are now, and then after, which is what they will be after I have done all of this mouth torture that I'm doing. And I'm sure you'll be on the edge of your seats, raring to know that I'm not crying every time I take my braces out anymore. Oh no, because I wouldn't have. This is because last week I'd literally just had them fitted.
Right.
So what happened after that was that I spent a couple of days having mild panic attacks, like proper hyperventilating, sobbing, trying to get my braces out of my face and just whimpering because there's a technique to it for a start.
Which you didn't know.
Which I didn't know. You have little things that they glue onto your teeth that hold it in place.
Little anchors. Yeah.
They anchor it and it's really difficult to get them out, and it's incredibly claustrophobic having something that's kind of half stuck, half not stuck to your teeth, and then having your hands in your mouth at the same time. And I genuinely thought that they were going to be stuck there forever. And then when they came out, I had to actually check in the mirror to make sure that my teeth were still there because it felt like I pulled my teeth out of my head.
Nice.
It was awful. I sat there on the sofa and cried, didn't I? Do you remember a few days ago? I was like, I don't think I can do this for 9 months. And yeah, I feel much better now.
No, it's fine.
It's still not pleasant. You know, I still get it's difficult to get the bottom ones out, particularly because they're the really crooked teeth. But it's a lot less unpleasant than it was a few days ago. So if anyone out there is just had Invisalign fitted or is going to have them fitted and you are thinking, you're worried, it's like, you know what, it's really horrific for a couple of days and then it just gets much better.
Good.
Yeah. I do have really dry mouth though. And I googled that because I was like, why have I got such dry mouth? And apparently it's because your mouth recognises the braces as a foreign object, so it produces less saliva. And so I've just had really dry mouth, which means I've been drinking a lot of water, so I need to pee all the time, which is really good fun.
Good detail. Thanks.
You're welcome. So, but yeah, my story anyway was I was talking about my braces this morning, and when I went back to check my emails at lunchtime, I had 2 emails from people who both of it. One of them said, "Oh, I'm towards the end of my Invisalign journey. I've only got a couple more sets to put in, and it does get better, and blah blah blah," which is really nice and helpful. So thank you, Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
And then somebody else, Jenny, who used to be one of my superheroes. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny.
She said, "That's so spooky. I've just come home from having my first ever Invisaligns fitted today to open this email of yours." And I was like, "Oh."
You've got a bad couple of days coming.
No, I didn't say that to her because, that's mean.
But she does.
Well, maybe. Maybe her experience will be better than mine.
But by the time she hears this, it will be done.
Yeah. But I just thought, that's really weird that I've written about my teeth and then she literally had them fitted today. The universe has aligned its chakras or something.
Yeah.
We're resonating on the same cosmic chocolate frequency, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to...
What are we doing?
Last week we promised people that we would go through the questions that I asked my beta readers.
Okay.
Because I did a presentation at Peter Thompson's 2-day event. Hi, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
This week. And it went really well and everybody loved it. And one of the things that I did was go through some of the questions that I asked people.
Okay.
And I thought it would be useful to do so today. That was me shaking out my letter.
So this is a nice letter that you put in with the book when you sent it to the beta readers, who were carefully selected pupils who were both generous, willing, and pretty much your target audience.
Pretty much, yeah.
So that... Wow.
Sorry. I had a yawn arrive. I'm really sorry. You can't... Look, people get really funny about yawns and they say, "Oh, you're really rude if you yawn." A yawn is a reflexive physiological reaction to a lack of oxygen.
I used to have a dude who worked for me who almost every time I said anything to him would desperately try and not yawn. So he'd do that whole kind of locked jaw, gurning, squinty-eyed, "I'm not yawning." But I don't know what was going on there.
Were you boring?
I guess so, yeah. I guess so.
Well, I don't think you're boring.
He doesn't work for me anymore.
Did you fire him because he kept yawning?
No.
Just in case any lawyers are listening.
No, he went and found another job.
Okay.
He moved on.
Listeners, you yawn. If you need to yawn, you yawn. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about it. Yeah. Right. So, what I did when I sent my beta copy of my book out was, didn't just send the book with a little note that said, "Please tell me what you think, Tar," because that's really unhelpful. If you ask anybody, and this doesn't just go for writing books, by the way. If you've got a new product or service or training course and you're beta testing it, which you absolutely should be, because you'll have better products if you do, do not, for the love of all that is holy, say to people, "Can you just tell me what you think of this, please?" Because they're going to go, "I liked it," or "It was a bit shit." And neither of those two things are helpful in any way. I
reckon when you ask vague questions like that, about 10% of the answers are useful.
Oh, not even that many. Not even that many. And it's just quite an antisocial thing to do as well. Because if you want, I don't like it when somebody says, what did you think about, it's like when people say, "What's your favourite book?" It's like, well, it depends what my mood is. Or what's your favourite season? Is every season when I'm in it, basically. Or, what did you think of this film? It's like, I liked it. Instead, it's like, "Oh, what did you think?" Be specific is what I'm saying. So rather than just send a book that says, "Here, read this, tell me what you think," I have included a bunch of questions I would like you to consider as you read through the book. Don't mind how you give me the feedback, whatever's easiest for you, but if it helps, here are a couple of ideas. So tell people as well how you would like them to tell you what they think, because and give them a few options. So I've said that people can either jot notes on the book itself and then scan or photograph and send me the images. I think someone's actually sending me the whole book back with their notes on it, which is amazing. Other people have said, I can't write on a book, even if it is like a spiral bound beta copy. Please, can you send me the PDF? So I've also, I also said, do you want the PDF version? You can make notes on the PDF version and send me that.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. You can simply note the page number down and create a document with your notes. That's also cool. Or you can make a video of your feedback. I've had a few videos which have been splendid. really useful ways. So give people a few options. Tell them how you would like them to give you feedback, and then they won't have to ask you. So should we just dive in and kind of run through a few of the questions I've asked? There's 18 of them.
18?
Yeah.
We need to not hang around because we've got about
10 minutes.
A maximum of
15
minutes. So we've got 45 seconds on each of these.
Did you just work that out?
No,
Is that not true then?
it's not true.
Oh. No, that's one. No, what? It's. I can work that out. Clearly not. Right. Why is my thing not charging? Oh, it is. Fine. Okay, so, yeah.
So you just wasted a minute there.
Oh, no, go for it. Here's the first question. The first question.
Okay, the first question is, did the book hold your interest from the very beginning? If not, why not? Where did it lose you?
Which is a good question. It's a specific question.
It's a very specific question, and it's actually pretty easy for anybody who's read the book to answer, I think.
Yes.
You are giving them an easy in there.
That was the idea. And it also, it doesn't just say, did it hold your interest? It's not just a yes or no answer. It's like, I've said, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Can you specify why not? Or at least, where did it lose you?
Okay. Have you had any interesting comments along those lines?
No, everybody loves it. I mean, everybody who's read it and given me feedback does love it, or they've at least said that they love it. I haven't had anybody so far say that
you lost me on page 2.
Yeah, which I'm very grateful for. So that's good. So question 2 is a little bit more obscure. Did you understand my reason for writing this book? Did you feel my pain, my frustration, and my excitement?
Cool.
And the reason that's an important question is because if you don't understand why I've written the book, you're not going to really understand what you need to get from it.
Okay.
And also, you're not going to believe in it either. If I hope that my reason for writing the book has come through, because I told people my reason for writing the book, and
it was right there in words.
It was right there in words. So I hope that was, But I also wanted to, I wanted people to feel my feelings as I wrote it.
Yeah.
And from what people have told me so far, I've done a pretty good job of that. So I'm quite pleased. But what you're trying to do, why that's important is all of the things that I've just said, but also you want to take people on a journey. And this isn't just true for fiction. This is true for business books as much so, if not more, because you read fiction for fun and you get a lot out of it. And obviously I love, all fiction is amazing. But when you are writing a business book, you want people to specifically learn something. You want them to be, do, or have something when they've finished reading it that they didn't have before. And you want them to be able to improve their lives in some way. That's surely the point of writing a business book. And so my reader is much more likely to do that if I take them on an emotional journey, if I get them emotionally involved. And that's why that question is so important.
So just stylistically, was there a reason you asked, did you understand my reason, rather than what was my reason?
Yes, because there was a reason for that.
because for me, that gives people the opportunity to kind of, the way you've asked it, did you understand my reason? It gives the opportunity for people to just kind of say yes, but they might have got completely the wrong reason out of it.
Yeah, maybe, but that's a good question, actually. Maybe I should have asked what people
what do you think my reason was.
Yeah, maybe. I think because I was so explicit in writing why I've written my book, I kind of maybe assumed. But yeah, that's a good point, Joe. If you're doing beta, maybe I will include that in my next book, my next beta reader. Thank you. So what was my next question?
Next question was, did my topic seem exciting if you didn't know much about it?
Yeah, so obviously I don't want to bore people.
No.
I want to make the topic of writing books sound exciting, because I want people to write books. That's the whole point of it. If I don't make it sound exciting, nobody's going to do it.
True. And I guess you're asking people to invest, I don't know, 30, 40 hours reading the book?
No.
No?
No.
No?
No. It's like
20 hours? I don't know.
I can tell you how long. Hang on.
How long does it take to read this book?
Oh. Talk amongst yourself for a minute.
So I mean, yeah, if you write dreary, awful, this isn't very interesting stuff, people aren't going to read it.
No.
It doesn't matter if it's useful. It doesn't matter whether they feel like they should read it. But if it's just awful, they're not going to.
There you go, reading time. 4.5 hours.
4.5 hours?
Yeah.
What?
This is not a novel. This is a... I think Noodle's just landed upstairs. This is a 67,000 word book.
Okay.
Which is about average for, well, a little bit bigger than average for a non-fiction book. But yeah, reading time about 4.5 hours. I think maybe the reading time for this book is a little bit longer, and if you're reading it as a beta reader, it'd probably be a little bit longer because I'm asking you to do stuff. So this isn't just like a read from start to finish.
It's not just a story, you actually have to do things.
So you're reading epic fantasy at the moment. That is like a 30-hour slog. So yeah, did it seem exciting? So my next question was, where did the book get boring? What parts could I cut out? And I very specifically asked, where did it get boring, and not did it get boring?
See, this question is more stylistically the way I would have asked the second one.
Yeah. So I wanted to know where the book got boring, because there are going to be places that, that are going to be a bit dull.
This is not as interesting as the rest of it.
Yeah, and I know exactly where that chapter is as well, by the way, because I do, yeah, and it's not an enormous amount I can do about it. I'm going to try. I've got a couple of ideas, but it's all the bits and pieces like fonts and typeface and spacing and line spacing and that kind of thing, which is all important stuff.
Actual technical data that you need to know.
Yeah, I can tell you what I'm not going to do with that when I make it into an audiobook. I'm not going to read that chapter, because it's going to put people to sleep. I'm basically going to be like, you know what, dude, you can go to my website and download this chapter for free, because it's going to be boring. It's me going, meh, 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 meh. Anyway.
Can you not throw some exciting typography anecdotes in there? And
that's one of my plans, yeah.
Okay. Good.
I'm just going to scribble that down in case I forget it, because I haven't actually... That is one of my plans, but I haven't written it down, and I do forget things.
I am full of the ideas.
Exciting typog stories. This is good radio. Right. Okay. Next question.
Was there anything missing? Anything else I should have included?
Yeah. Obvious question. I think I've included everything that's necessary in my book, but I am not my ideal reader. I'm somebody who knows an awful lot about this topic, so... very much one of the very early pieces of feedback I got when I put my table of contents up from John was...
Hi, John.
Hi, John. Was, this is not the right order for the book to be in. And
awesome.
Yeah, which is awesome. And as soon as he said it, I was like, you are quite right. It's not. It's the logical order. It's not the right order. It's the logical order from my point of view, because I know what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Not the right order for somebody who has never written a book and is frankly terrified of it.
Okay, cool.
So that is super important. There might be stuff missing from the book. In fact, I know there's something missing from the book because Sarah pointed out that there isn't an awful lot on audiobooks there, and she has found out some stuff for me actually, and I am going to be... I've been obviously doing research because I'm going to be making my audiobook, and then in the second edition of this book there will be even more stuff because I will know more about it then.
Good.
So that's really cool. Okay, next question was, were there any parts that confused you or even frustrated or annoyed you? Which parts and why?
Crikey.
Obviously an important question, because I don't want to confuse people. It's the last thing I want to do. And I had some early feedback again that somebody said, you know what, I get all this, but I don't understand why it's important about one specific thing. And so I went back and rewrote the chapter, and when she had it, and she actually told me that before I sent it out as a beta thing, and when she had it as a beta, she came back and said, that makes much more sense.
Cool.
So that was super important as well. And, I don't want to annoy people, so...
Well, no, I guess, if your mission is to get people to the end of this book with a whole bunch of little exercises done and, a draft and a plan and a desire to write a book. And
then I want them to buy more stuff from me.
Yeah, obviously. But yeah, if they get frustrated or annoyed or decide they hate the whole idea... that they're not going to finish the book and they're not going to do it.
Yeah. And in fact, 2 people have told me that something that I put in the book as an afterthought, actually, as a thrown together chapter, have both two different people have told me that aspects of that annoyed them. Or not annoyed them, but they disagreed with it quite vehemently, actually, and it frustrated them. And I've since read it back again, and I was like, again, I think you're right.
Okay.
I need to, and I definitely don't want that to be the first thing that people read, the first chapter of it. So I'm going to change that chapter quite substantially. I already wasn't very comfortable with it, and so for them to then say, this isn't...
That's a problem.
I was like, right, it's changing then. So that was really cool.
Interesting. Did any of the research seem far-fetched? That's a strange question. Did you think any of the research was far-fetched?
No. But I think what I meant by that question, again, badly worded question, I would reword that question to say, and I think I might have asked this later on, actually, did I need, was there any, I think what I meant by that was there anything that I'd said that needed backing up?
Oh, okay.
With research. And I didn't word it very well, so probably nobody understood it.
Did any of the statements seem far-fetched? Did any of the...
Yeah, did anything I said seem far-fetched? Does it need backing up with...
Did anything need backing up with more research?
With more research, yeah. So that's a really useful question that I worded very badly. And, and I've actually got a load of notes myself where I know I need to go back and do a little bit more research and add stuff in, so that's cool. So yeah, let's be careful how you word your questions and make sure... Get someone to proofread the letter that you send to your beta readers.
Yeah, which is what you didn't do.
Which is what I did not do.
Because I would have commented.
You would have commented. I should have got you to read it.
Were any details repeated or redundant? Now, when I went through your shitty first draft, I found a few things that you'd said a few times, and
I got rid of most of them. And then a couple more people have found another couple of things that I've repeated a couple of times. So again, really useful. And that's super, super important for you to ask that, because you will not notice. Because when you've written your book, it's like trying to proofread your own stuff. You will not remember that you said this thing in chapter 1 and then this thing in chapter 7. You just won't. And so don't feel bad if somebody comes back and says, actually, this feels like a bit of repetition. And you might get that a few times because you just won't notice when you're writing it yourself.
Yeah.
So that's a good question. Could some of the stories and ideas be more punchy? If so, how? And what I mean by that is, well, do you know what I mean by that?
I think you're asking about lengthy waffle.
I am. And also lively language as well, because one of the big problems that I like to address when I'm teaching people how to write and teaching people how to write books is how to write more interestingly with more lively language.
Okay.
So rather than, a really simple way to do that, by the way, and we can talk about this in a future episode in more detail, is get rid of the word very from your vocabulary. It's boring. It's like, you're not very cold, you're freezing. You're not very hungry, you're ravenous. It's that kind of, and it just, the difference between saying I'm very hungry and I'm ravenous is just that much more energy.
It's much more colourful, isn't it?
Much more colourful. So that's partly what I mean, but also what you just said. Is it too rambly? Is it too long? And does the story and the particular story within the book or the idea, do I start it in the right place? Sometimes it's a good idea to start a story in the middle, not at the beginning, because it's more interesting. So that was a good question. Does the book need more stories? Because one of the dangers is that you fill a book with too many examples. Yeah. But at the same time, you don't want to have too few. It's a good idea to back anything you say up or illustrate anything that you're saying, any point that you want to make. Illustrate it with a story, either real or made up. It doesn't matter as long as you're being clear about what it is. But stories, facts tell, stories sell. People remember stories.
Well, we're designed for story, aren't we?
Yeah.
Who said that?
We're wired for story.
Wired for story.
Lisa Cron, in her excellent book of the same name, Wired for Story.
Excellent. Well done. Was there too much information and research or not enough? Was the information helpful or did it drag?
Another good question. I don't want to weigh people down with boring facts. I only want to give them enough so that they know what to do and how to do it. But also, I want to make sure that people have got enough information. Really important.
Cool.
Were there enough practical tips and steps to take, or too many? Again, I didn't want this just to be a book that people read and then put back and forgot about. I want it to be a book that they read and then a few of my readers actually have said, oh, I've read it and then I've read it again. Yeah. And now I'm going to go back and read it again and actually do the things.
Yeah, I found when I read it, I wasn't doing the things because I was busy reading it. And yeah, I would have needed to go through it again and picking out the things that needed doing.
Yeah. But would you have done? If you're writing a book?
Yeah. Good. Yeah, I would have done. Because I would have skim-read the chapter again and gone to the point where you told me to do something.
My tiny beetle steps. And also, you don't want too many. You don't want to overload people with too much stuff to do all at once. And I think
you kind of break the rhythm if you're not too careful, aren't you?
Yeah. And so what I've done in my book is I've done it's almost a summary at the end of the chapter. I call them tiny beetle steps that I want people to take. So that's what I would like. But I don't want them to do too many, and I don't want to overload people. Next question. Was the narrative interesting and did it move along? Why or why not? Now, what I mean by that is, I'm wondering if that may be a bit too jargony for people who aren't writers, but I want the book to pull you along. I want it to be a page turner is basically what that means. And that's really important, even for a business book, even for when you want people to take action and take steps. You want people to want to keep reading. So is it pacey? Does it make you want to turn the page?
Sure. Did the book provide helpful next steps?
My book does do that. This is really important for, actually, even if you're writing fiction, it's really important because you want people to buy your next book. You want people to find out more about you. If you are
Join the fan club.
Yeah, join the fan club.
Buy a badge, whatever.
Biggest mistake all authors, but particularly fiction authors make, is that they don't have any way to follow up with people. And that's crazy. You build your list right from the very start. And if you haven't got another book for them to read yet, give them something else. Give them interviews, give them maybe backgrounds. And this goes for non-fiction as well. So, I'm writing a book or helping a client write a book at the moment, and we're interviewing loads of people that he knows. And we're going to make some of those interviews available elsewhere, because they're fascinating, they're really interesting.
Cool.
And that's the kind of thing that you can say to people, what's the next step? Obviously the next step for me is going to be, you can take my course, which is the logical follow-on. I'm going to have a membership group, that kind of thing. But it might be for you, it might be, go and join my mailing list, and here's the bribe. The ethical bribe is, you'll get this cool stuff that isn't included in the book.
Cool.
Did you notice any obvious repeating grammatical, spelling, punctuation or capitalization errors? And can you give me an example? So I'm not asking people to proofread it here. I'm asking if they've spotted anything that I did repeatedly. Because I will get people proofreading, because everybody loves to point out a typo, which is really helpful. But I'm not asking people to proofread it. It's not a substitution for a professional proofreader.
Sure.
But it's really useful to know if there's anything that I keep, if I keep persistently spelling banana wrong. I would hope my spell check would pick that up, to be honest. But you know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, using the wrong... You're saying through when you mean thorough or something.
Yes, that won't necessarily get picked up.
Did you notice any really annoying words or phrases that make you want to grumble at me? For example, when I'm talking, I say, so often it makes me want to punch myself in the face. Do I do anything like that in writing? I
have heard myself, even during this podcast, saying, and I literally wanted to punch myself in the face. It's really irritating. Really irritating. The other thing that I do, and I'm trying to break myself of, is I start sentences with so, and I've noticed a lot of people do that these days, and it's become in place of
Yes.
It's a verbal tick.
It's a verbal tick. It's irritating. It's a Radio 4 artifact, isn't it?
It's just a radio artifact, I think. But this is what I'm asking. Everybody has verbal ticks. You will have a verbal tick of some kind. Everybody has them. You will also have writing ticks. My writing ticks, I know, because I go back and I take them out. I tend to start written sentences with so as well. So I go back and take them out. I also say you could, and you could do this. And that is a phrase that you can just delete because the sentence makes perfect sense without it. Things like that. So, if yes, it's like really annoying. Oh my God. And like as well, like is a really annoying verbal tick of mine. If there is anything, I want people to tell me if there's something that's really irritating that I do with my writing in my book. Don't be mean to me, people. Anyway, next question, do I need a separate chapter dedicated? Okay, so this is very specific to my book. Do I need a separate chapter dedicated to writing the book call to action, or does it sit okay in the how to end on a high chapter? Now, the reason that I put that in there is because I think I've squished two big ideas into one chapter, and I wanted to know if it would be better split out into two chapters. So if I was going to generalize that to anyone else, then you could say, do any of the chapters feel like there's too much going on in them?
Sure.
Do you think that they could be split into two? Which again is really useful, because my rule of thumb, and again, my way is not the only way, it's just the best way. No, I'm kidding. Is one big idea per chapter. Otherwise it's too confusing. And finally,
are the chapters in the right order? Would it work better to restructure it? How?
That is the question that I asked even before I sent this beta book out, and that's the one that I think has been the most useful was that feedback that this is not in the right order. And I just wanted to check again, even after I'd done it, I wanted to check again that it was in the right order. Because some of the later chapters, there is a logical order to stuff, but some of the later chapters, it can be a bit ambiguous, you know? Is this really in the right place? Should this go here?
Yeah.
Where does it sit better? So that's really, really important as well. So that's it. That's the questions that I asked my beta readers. I really hope you found that useful. I also hope that you'll find them useful if you are beta testing a new product or service or training course, because again, you can adapt these questions to those.
Isn't it?
It's concepts, yeah. So you won't, you know, not all of these questions will be relevant, but most of them will. And the whole point is, what do you want to get out of your beta readers, your beta testers? What do you want, you know, how do you want to improve whatever it is that you're putting out there? Whatever it is that you want to achieve, you need to ask specific questions.
And it helps them out as well.
Yes.
There's nothing worse than being asked vague questions. Did you like it? Well, yes, I thought it was great. Thanks.
Exactly.
You're not going to get much useful information out of that. Ask specific questions, you get specific answers.
Yeah. That's the takeaway.
Nice. Was it? That's a good shout.
You want good answers, ask good questions.
That was lucky.
Yeah. So next week, we're going to be talking about how to avoid looking like an amateur.
Oof.
Yeah. Which is, it's not that difficult. Easy to look like an amateur though.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you have listened to every single episode, email me, vicky@vickyfraser.com with your postal address and I will send you a special gift.
You lunatic, you.
And if you fancy a bit of a pattern interrupt for your business and your life, and you want to break a rut that you're in, or you want to just shake things up a bit and do something new and exciting with your business, come and join us in Portugal for the 4th International Breaking Bread Mastermind.
Awesome.
It's going to be amazing. Last weekend in July, I think 26th, 27th, 28th of July, there's 3 spaces left. You can get your tickets at breakingbreadmastermind.com.
Nice.
And you will get Joe and Berto in their tiny, tiny pit crew shorts serving you delicious food throughout the day. You'll get me and Misty delving into your brains and fixing your problems. And if you want, you'll go away with an idea and an outline plan for your new book or product.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you will meet some awesome people.
Yes, you will. We've got some really exciting people coming. A-list copywriters, incredible businesswomen who have gone from, you know, not being qualified as anything as to owning 6 law firms.
Nice.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it really.
That's going to be cool. If you enjoy this podcast, then go and review us. Give us 5 stars on every platform you can think of. Like
especially iTunes.
iTunes.
5 stars.
5 stars. All right. Jeez. And we're 32 minutes in, so we're going to say goodbye.
Yes. We'll be back same time next week. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Like what you've just heard? Tell your colleagues, tell your friends, send them to www.businessforsuperheroes.com/podcast.